Don't stop believing.
Every time he does that, every single time.
I don't want to be a product of my environment. I want my environment to be a product of me.
Prestige Living Podcast. So with that, who do you want to be?
Hello, welcome to Prestige Living, your audio platform where we interview the entrepreneurs of Orange County. I'm your host, Jay O'Brien, with your co-hosts,
Plural,
Jordan Wilson,
hola,
and Kane German.
Hola.
Can you sing a little song for us real quick?
You want Spanish?
Spanish, please.
Si nos dejan, nos vamos a querer toda la
So our
vida.
our guest today comes from Huntington Beach, the SeaLegs restaurant. He is the head chef and managing partner,
Si nos
Alexander Dale.
dejan.
Alexander Dale. And Alexander Dale, also known as Alex, was raised in the kitchens of the historic Villanova restaurant in Newport Beach, where his grandfather actually founded and operated the restaurant. So that's kind of where he got our start. So without any further ado, here he is, Alex Dale. Welcome to the show.
Hi, how you guys doing today?
Doing great. Appreciate you being on the show.
Yeah, thank you.
So I'm on the site SeaLegsWine.com, and it looks like there's a tab that says franchising. So is SeaLegs a franchise, or?
We've actually we just opened up our second location in it was a franchise that we opened up in LAX Terminal 2 in the international.
Oh, really?
Terminal. Yeah, we just got that open last month, and it's been going great.
Okay, so you're the managing partner there. So you guys actually started the brand SeaLegs. Okay, cool. So, but is the idea that someone can come in and start their own SeaLegs if they wanted to? You're going to franchise it out like that?
Pretty much our goals right now has been focusing on our local base, but we've also kind of fallen into of liking these concessions of like these of the airports and like other kind of things like that. We're kind of been looking at of opening up for like places like stadiums or something like that that could kind of up our alley.
Yeah, that's cool. I've seen some of those wine bars at the airports where you can kind of just chill, grab a couple glasses, and it looks actually pretty elegant and stuff. So that's, I would imagine, what SeaLegs is probably looking like as well.
Yeah, it's been really cool over at LAX. They've done a really great job of flipping, of getting all airports used to be really bad food, and it was a lot of fast food, just kind of quick, and people really. They get stuck there. Like now with the airport security, you have to be there a couple hours early before your flight, and people want to enjoy their time that they're there now. And so it's been, we have had a great response in there of people, especially with international flights. They're there for 2-3 hours before the flight, and they like sitting there having a great meal and enjoying good wine.
Awesome. Okay, cool. So in Huntington Beach, you guys launched what, like 5-6 years ago?
No, we've been open for just a little over 3 years.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome. So how's everything going over there? You're right off a beach in Atlanta?
Yeah, it's been great for the community in Huntington Beach. It was something that was not available for them. There's not too many dining options outside of like there's a couple places like in the hotels, like in kind of around Main Street, but there's nothing that really catered to the locals that was a classy kind of venue, and the locals in Huntington really responded to it. Because a lot of them, they don't want to be on Main Street.
You know, it's funny, you just said a little bit around 3 years ago. I'm looking on the website right now under the press tab, and you guys have been written up a whole shitload here. So I'm looking through here. Let me turn this around so Jay can see it. Like if you scroll up and down, like they've been written up in every publication. It looks like some. I was actually going to text a few of our Remax buddies out in Huntington Beach, because I guess Terrasol is right next to SeaLegs.
Yeah, they're right. Yeah, they're right next door, and we have a couple of our wine lockers are actually owned by some of the Remax franchises.
Oh yeah, some of our good buddies they're there very often.
They keep you guys in business, huh?
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, I don't want to name names.
Yeah,
but I might.
So tell me more about like the food. I don't know if I've ever had the food there. So it's classified as a wine bar, but you guys are also pretty well known for the food that you serve there.
Yeah, it's kind of my mission on the food was I wanted to make stuff that people could go in there, and instead of just going there for a 30-minute meal and bouncing, I wanted to design the menu where people would go in there with groups of people and share plates and sit there for 2 or 3 hours. And so the majority of the menu is, I'd say 75% of the menu is set up that way, that you go in there with your group of people. you order 5 or 6 things to start off with, and you guys just kind of pick and share at everything while you guys are enjoying some couple bottles of wine.
So you guys are trying to, you're creating the experience that you want for your guests instead of just, anybody come in, anybody try, but you want a specific experience for your guests.
Yeah, we want to have people come in there and even if we have customers that come in there like 4 or 5 times a week, and we want them to come in there and sit there for 2 or 3 hours. I don't want to turn and burn and flip tables. That's not our goal in there. Our goal is to create experiences, make that as a local hangout where people can go and celebrate all their major life events.
That's pretty cool. I mean, that's different than what you usually hear behind the restaurant mentality and the profit and whatnot, because people they sit there not ordering food, just essentially just like eating up revenue. But it's cool to see that your vision is more based around the culture than just the bottom line.
Yeah, well, I think is that also creating that culture. It keeps us busy, and it's like a lot of places are dead on like a lot of this, like they're only busy on weekends. Where we get like during the summertime right now, we're busy 7 days a week in there.
Yeah. So what were you doing before SeaLegs?
Before I was at SeaLegs, I was at a place in Seal Beach called 320 Main, and before that I was at Boa in Santa Monica at Boa Steakhouse.
Oh yeah. Okay. So you've always been kind of in this world.
Yeah, I've grown up in this world my entire life. My preschool was the Villanova. When I was a kid, when I get out of school, I'd be running around the restaurant.
Wow. And then you also went to school and studied culinary arts?
Yeah, I graduated from Cordon Bleu in Pasadena.
What was the final tick where you're like, okay, I'm not going to be working there. It's time to start my own place?
Was when I met up with my partner Alicia, and her and I had to just go back from, we've kind of worked on and off together through different various things over the course of our lives, and when she came at me with this concept, I was like, this is money. And so her and I worked together so well. It's just we're just a well-oiled machine together, and we just hit go.
So how did the initial stages of all the planning start? Like, okay, is it just going to be a wine bar, but what's going to make it special out of all the others?
A lot of that is the design and elements like that. That's where it's kind of Alicia and I play off each other. She's great at the restaurant design stuff like that, and she wanted to make a place that was kind of catered toward women because she knew that if you got the women in there, it would bring them in. And so
this is good.
Yeah, and so
I see you writing down. Are you taking notes?
Yeah, that was Alicia's goal of when she was starting to come up with the concept, and then I just took the food to make sure that the women would stay and that we could get the men to be in there too.
Yeah, because they don't buy their own drinks.
Yeah. So was there a proof of concept for this idea elsewhere? Like, was it one of those things where you're like, oh, in San Francisco they've got one of these and there's nothing in Orange County? Or was it like there was nothing to model it after? It was just
there was a couple. There's some places that you modeled after, but there was nothing on the kind of the level of what we were trying to do. And Alicia and I both worked out in Vegas together, and it was kind of like we wanted to kind of bring a Vegas, almost like that Vegas atmosphere, like lounge atmosphere to Orange County, and we thought that would just be it would hit.
And so when you first opened up, was it successful right away, or did it take a while to ramp up?
We took off running.
Yeah,
it was like literally the day we opened our doors, it was this full go. It was right at the beginning of summertime, and I think the first summer I took a day off for the first summer we were open.
That's why I was thinking more like 6 years that you'd been open, because it's almost like I don't remember a time where people weren't going to SeaLegs because it's been so successful.
Yeah, we were very lucky to not have to have not really too much of the building of going through those parts. We just took off full speed ahead.
So how much of the initial idea has been changed since then? It's like when you got your initial idea with your partner Alicia, and then you guys set out, and it's like, what changes have you made since then? It's like, oh, this is not going to work. Oh, this is not going to work. This is going to work.
I think it's pretty much been we've gone steady our course. The only thing that we've kind of added to it is that when we first opened up, we were strictly a wine bar, and then now we've added a whole craft cocktail menu. I have a little bit of background in that, and so we started doing our own ginger beer and stuff like that, making for our own Moscow mules, and doing all of our cocktails from scratch too, as reflection on our kitchen, and that's really taken off. But that pretty much everything else has gone just as according as planned.
How about your location? How did you decide on that spot at Beach in Atlanta? There was it just kind of like a
it was a
timing,
good well it was good timing, and it was also that it wasn't around Main Street, and that was kind of the thing that we saw, that the locals in Huntington Beach, they don't want to be around Main Street. They stay away from it. They go down there maybe they go take their kids down there for the U.S. Open, but they don't really want to go. They don't want to go out on Main Street because it's such a madhouse down there, and it's not a reflection really of the city. It's a bunch of tourists in there, and they'd rather be somewhere we're only like 3 blocks from Main Street, but we're easily accessible, and it really caters to the locals.
So when you before SeaLegs, you were an employee at the previous establishments, correct?
Yeah.
So this is the first place you've had ownership in.
Yes.
So tell me about that. How was that transition? I mean, what were some of those biggest struggles?
It's a totally different ballgame of having when it's your own place versus someone else's, that you're always there.
Yeah, right. You got skin in the game.
Yeah, there's no time off. You're always doing something. There's always something more that you could be doing, and it's more of a reflection on you than before, where you're doing someone else's vision, someone else's goal, and just trying to get in their mind. Where this is now your own mind, and it's like you're doing everything possible to make this thing as successful as possible.
Now, 3 years later, have you been able to refine your systems, and have you been able to delegate to others so that you can have a day off?
Oh yeah, no, it's definitely, because we're getting ready to expand. Getting ready to expand, and we're going to open up coming up in the wintertime. Is we're opening up Sea Salt Wood Fire Grill.
I heard about that.
It's going to be a all wood fired steakhouse, and so it's been really cool right now working with our team and developing our team.
Where's that going to be?
It's going to be in the same shopping center on the other side, right there on Beach in Atlanta, and it's going to be all wood-fired steaks. It's going to be a pretty simple menu, like wood-fired steaks. You pick your sides, and we have a bunch of different house-made sea salts, and also different sea salts from around the world.
Wow, that's awesome.
That brings different crunch and different textures to the food.
When do you think you guys are going to open there?
We're looking at December right now.
So everything's gonna cater to the sea salt thing, just
yeah,
like
it's
that
gonna
one
be,
ingredient.
Yeah, it's gonna be very simple. It's Santa Maria inspired from. I don't know if you guys have been to the Hitching Post and that little Central Valley in California. They're famous for their barbecue, and it's very simple, and it's the flavor on it. It's amazing though, and it's a very simple ingredients. It's done very well.
That's awesome. So since you guys started 3 years ago, I gotta ask, what's the worst customer story ever?
The worst customer story.
I mean, people are sitting there all night drinking wine, and
who have you had to 86 for the restaurant?
No,
Anybody from Remax Terrasol?
No. Luckily, no. We've had one guy that fell asleep in the bathroom. I remember, and I was like, it was like. I remember sitting there at brunch and we're like, this guy's like sleeping on. He just went and fell asleep in the bathroom, was taking a nap. And I had his girlfriend like, you want to help him get your guy out of here?
Too many mimosas, maybe.
So with SeaLegs, so you guys are expanding with a different location, different idea altogether. It's essentially a brand new business. With SeaLegs itself, now that you've seen success over the last 3 years, what ways do you think you're gonna grow and stay fresh?
I think our thing is that we're trying to bring a new hospitality kind of group to Orange County, and that we do all of our food from scratch, and our business model is we're very approachable. We want our servers, our management. We get involved with our customers a lot of our customers are good friends now. That, like I'd say 3 years ago, I didn't even know who these people. Now they're great friends of mine, and we kind of just try to keep the door always open and be very hospitable. And on the food wise, I just keep developing stuff always. I change the menu quarterly. I'm always doing new specials every week, and I utilize what's locally around us.
That's awesome. It's nice to see that fresh approach. Like, I think, especially in the last couple of years, we're seeing a lot more of that where businesses are getting more focused on the consumer experience than just the P&L.
Yeah.
And it's huge because that sort of thing will expand organically and through word of mouth and whatnot. And you said one thing that really reminded me of this, and especially in our business too, is that you said you're friends with a lot of the customers that come in now and you didn't even know them 3 years ago. I think that's so important because when you have that personal relationship, people, like, food brings people together, and it always has. And so to have an environment where you feel that connection and you want to bring more friends and more family because you have that intimate setting, it's just like, it's better than any other traditional business model could ever operate. You know, it's just refreshing to know that that's happening in the local community. When it comes to cooking, what's your personal specialty or something that you love to cook yourself?
I'd say like it is. is over at the restaurant is I like using this of a lot of our local fresh ingredients of like one of my buddies owns a fishing boat out of the Dory Fleet in Newport, and so he comes in he goes fishing every week. He'll text me the minute he hits Catalina when his phone's working what he has for the week, and that's what I love. Like when Scott just like get text messages, I just got this big bluefin tuna, I'll take it. And I love going to Santa Monica's farmers market and just seeing what's kind of available, and then from there I kind of go from what's freshest, what's in season, and that's kind of how I gauge everything.
Do you cook at home still?
Yeah, I cook it. When I'm cooking at home, I cook a lot of Italian food because it's like I can just sit back, relax, have a glass of wine, bottle of wine, and make some pasta.
Bottles of wine.
Yeah, it's nice and relaxing.
So
Love
you said
that.
you mentioned you change your menu quarterly.
Yeah.
How do you go about changing it? Like, what is there a specific pattern you change it per the season, or
Yeah, it's
what you pick up?
based on seasonal ingredients, and it's like in the fall time I'm gonna have I do add a little bit more of entree style heavier dishes. In the summertime I try to keep things a lot lighter because that's what people want to eat. I don't know like too many people in the summertime that want to when it's 95 degrees out that want to eat like a bowl of clam chowder and a bread bowl like. It's like they usually want like lighter, fresher, like fresh, like kind of raw fish, like salads, and more of just like smaller dishes. Where in the wintertime I'll go a little bit bigger, and then during the summertime I'm just a little bit smaller, keep to the smaller plates.
Cool.
So
Do you guys
go ahead.
do you guys do breakfast too?
Yeah, we do brunch on Saturday and Sundays, and that's a pretty big shit show.
I've heard from many people that the brunch is really good and that it's also crazy busy.
Yeah, we've been known to have some pretty big lines out there. That's usually when you get all the good customer stories of the people that are like blacked out. That's that's what usually does it to them. Is the person that gets there at 11 o'clock and all of a sudden you're looking around and it's 4 o'clock and they're still there.
A lot of people go to SeaLegs when they're waiting for mamas and vice versa too, right?
Yeah, well, I think both of us kind of play off each other.
Yeah,
it's like we both cater to the community, both local spots, and it's people just that's kind of like the breakfast corner of Huntington Beach now.
Yeah, it really has grown. So I have a question more on the business side of things. Like we're seeing more and more people that get into the restaurant industry and want to become chefs and whatnot, and I think that one of the, I don't know if it's a crutch or I don't know if it's a requirement or what, but people sign up to go to culinary school over just jumping right into the industry and getting experience or going the traditional route with a college degree or something like that. What kind of value do you place on culinary art school?
I place a value on it, but I think that is you learn more with your hands dirty, but you learn more from the business side from school. And so it's the one thing is that unless you're going to take the time, is working in a restaurant, it's going to be hard for your executive chef to sit you down. Hey, I want you to teach you how to do this. It's probably not going to happen. Where in culinary school, you're going to learn about costing, P&Ls, and that kind of stuff. Where they teach that to you. Where in real life restaurant, your chef's not going to sit down there and spend an hour or two with you a week of teaching you the P&L kind of sides of things, right. Unless it's like you're getting promoted to a sous chef. And so it's like when you leave culinary school, you do have a good basis on the business side of stuff, but you learn more of the actual cooking side of just jumping yourself head first into the industry.
Okay, so what kind of advice would you give someone today who's maybe like out of high school that wanted to get into the restaurant business and maybe wanted to own their own one day?
If they were out of high school, I'd tell them to start working. I'd tell them start washing dishes or just get your foot in the door and then go to school and try to like when I was in culinary school, I still worked in the business, which a lot of kids didn't do. Like a lot, and you'd see this a lot of the kids in culinary school. They think they're going to walk out of culinary school and become an executive chef right off the bat. They get in for a really harsh reality because they get out of school. They've never worked with that high pressure situation, and all of a sudden they're a deer in the headlights. And so the best advice that I could give is that do both. Work in the industry as well as going to school. It's gonna suck because you're not gonna have any free time to do anything, but get used to it.
Yeah, it makes perfect sense. Outside of work, what are some routines that you do, like as far as recreationally or like morning routines, workouts, things that keep you fresh and keep you focused?
Is my biggest thing for is working out is cycling. Is like I live right on the beach, so it's like it's like pretty much my easiest thing for working out. I just hop on my bike and I'll go ride for 2 hours in the morning. And it's cool because it's like I can kind of start thinking in my head of what I want to get done with work while I'm also exercising, and I just kind of get in my little zone, and it's a really nice release.
So meditative.
I have an unrelated to working out question. Is you talked about people don't want to eat a clam chowder and a bread bowl during the summer. On that line, where have you worked? I mean, whether it's SeaLegs or somewhere, I'm pretty sure it's not SeaLegs because you have a lot of say in there. But where have you worked where you just absolutely cannot stand a certain dish that you've been forced to make? You don't have to say where. What was the dish? What was the dish that you just couldn't stand to make?
I used to I'll say the place is our old owner over at 320 Jason. Jason bought the place off someone else, and he redid the place from scratch kitchen, from scratch cocktails, awesome. And they had these chicken strips that were on the menu. And the locals on Steel Beach, like literally, we would try to take them off, and it would be like a riot every single time. Jason would be like, I hate these chicken strips. I just want to get rid of them. But it's like they're good though. They are good. It's like Jason just didn't want them on there, and he's kind of been stuck to have them on there.
Because I mean, at some point, it's like as a chef. I mean, we've interviewed another chef on here before, and it's like no judgment. It's like most chefs have a little bit of an ego that comes into play. So if you try and take something off their menu, then it's a little bit of a.
It's like the musician with the hit single that's played out,
Yeah.
But you can't get rid of it.
Can't get rid of it.
Don't stop believing.
Every time he does that, every single time. So Alex, if people want to check you guys out, your website SeaLegsWine.com. Are you guys on Instagram or anything?
Yeah, we're at Instagram at SeaLegs Wine Bar. That's a big thing on this too is with our business is that we advertise all of our specials and everything now through Instagram. So like the minute I'm done making it, I'm sitting there taking photos of it. It's up there every week, so you can check out like what's fresh, what's going on at the restaurant.
Do you guys ever have live music over there?
Not really live music. It's like we have like our New Year's party.
Okay.
Like New Year's is about the only thing that we don't really do live music in there because we don't have the. We're working on this. One of our goals for this year is actually getting a live entertainment permit though, so we can get like piano players in there, like do like maybe like a Sinatra night or something like that.
That would be so cool.
Yeah.
That'd be amazing. Yeah,
that'd be me all over it.
So, do you guys? I would imagine there's a lot of businesses like the franchises around there that you had mentioned that go to SeaLegs as like a place to host their clients or employees or whatnot. Do you guys rent out? Can you do a buyout?
Oh yeah, we do those all the time. It's like we have our own like special events department that handles all that stuff, and we've done a lot of buyout parties for just a lot of different local companies. We've done one for Remax.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's
I figured as much.
Yeah.
So to recap here, the name of the new restaurant opening up in December is what?
It's gonna be called Sea Salt Woodfire Grill.
Sea Salt Woodfire Grill, okay, and then SeaLegs Wine Bar, all in the same shopping center off of Beach Boulevard in Atlanta in Huntington Beach. And people can check you guys out, SeaLegsWine.com and Instagram, SeaLegs Wine Bar, correct?
Correct.
To check out your specials. Awesome, cool. This has been great. It's been a ton of information, and I'm always curious on the culinary art side too, like what the trajectory is to get into that field. So thank you for shedding light on that.
Oh, no problem.
Cool. Well, thanks so much for being on the show, Alex. We really appreciate it.
Awesome.
Man.
Yeah, I had a blast.
Cool. Thanks, man.
That was fun.
If you would like to be on the Prestige Living Podcast or know someone that would be a great guest, go to www.prestigelivingpodcast.com. We'd love to hear your story.